So we're going to talk some Jax State football now. Conference USA Media Day going on out in Arlington, Texas. We had a chance to talk with Coach Charles Kelly yesterday. We get a chance to talk with a couple of players today as quarterback Caden Creel joins us now. Caden, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing good. What about you?
Doing great. Appreciate you coming on this morning. First of all, how's the offseason been? How's the summer been?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. The off-season's been really good. I mean, we've been hitting it pretty hard, and it's been good to see the guys come together and put all this work in, and we're getting ready to go into fall camp, put even more work in heading into the season.
What were some of the biggest things you took away from last season? You get a chance to go in to prove yourself, to be the quarterback for the Gamecocks. What are some things you learned last season that you've kind of taken into the offseason?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously last year kind of got thrown in the middle of the season and hadn't really played much college ball at that point. I really just learned a lot as far as, the speed of the game, learning defenses and, just certain things like that could help me out later on down the road. And, it was a blessing and I wouldn't take it for granted. And, having that year last year is really just going to help me in the future.
What are some things that you've been kind of focusing on in your game this offseason, getting ready for this new season?
Yeah, really this all season I've just been studying a lot of film from last year and a lot of my games that I played in, just learning, more about myself and how I can put myself in better situations, whether that's running the ball and not taking a certain hit that I shouldn't take, or maybe it's, third and long and we're throwing the ball and maybe I just need to put the ball in play instead of taking a sack or putting us in a worse situation or something like that. So there's been a bunch of stuff, but those are some of the key things that I've been working on.
So you guys are Jax State, Taylor Housewright stepping into the offensive coordinator role, the quarterback's coach role. What have you, and he was on staff last year just in a different role, but kind of how has it been him taking over the OC and working with him this offseason?
Yeah, usually whenever you have a coordinator change or something like that, it can be hard for the quarterbacks, but this year, man, it's been so easy. And, me and Housewright, we kind of hit it off as soon as he got the job. And, this whole all season, we've just been working together and making sure that we're on the same page in every single thing that we do. And, he's kind of lifted me up and encouraged me, but he's also given me a lot of criticism and, built me up and making me a better player. So I'm really excited to see how, this all comes together once we start playing real football games. But so far it's been awesome.
We're talking with Jax State quarterback Caden Creel and talking with Coach Kelly yesterday. We talked a little bit about the offensive line and those guys getting a bigger line in front of you. Just talk about, first of all, kind of the relationship between the quarterback and the offensive line, how important that is. But just talk about those guys up front and what to expect from them this season.
Yeah, I think the relationship between a quarterback and his O-line is really important because, like this phone call right now, there's not any offensive linemen that are going to be joining this call. It's the quarterback. And, the offensive linemen, they're the one that are doing all the dirty work, and they might not get recognized as much as I do or some of the other skill players on the offense, but they are a big piece of what we do. And honestly, they could be the most important piece because the center touches the ball every play just like I do. And they're making all the calls and making sure we're getting in the right blocking schemes and things like that. So, I always want to just try to take care of those guys, let them know that they're loved, and, I appreciate everything that they do for me and, things like that. But, as far as our offensive line going into this season, man, I mean, we just got a lot more depth than we had last year. I feel like last year we were good, but we might have been a little bit more shallow. And this year I feel like we have a little bit more depth. We're a little bit more versatile. We can do a little bit more things. And, we got some guys that are returning that are really good for us last year. And, they'll be even better this year. And then we got some new guys that we're adding into the mix, and, everything's just kind of coming together.
And as far as the receiver room goes, those guys that you target, talk to me a little about some of those guys and who Jax State fans should watch in that receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that, I could name right now, but if you watch any of the games last year, you kind of see the connection that we started to build towards the end of the season last year with DeAndre Johnson, just a big target, vertical threat. He's been putting a lot of work in, adding some route running into his bag and things like that. And then, you got some of the new guys that I can think about are like Jamil. I mean, he's really fast. He's kind of a new guy on the block, but the work that he's been putting in has been pretty cool to see, and I can't wait to see what he can do in the fall. Rennell, he's another speedy guy, really good route runner, great hands and things like that. So there's more guys too, like Gabe Glover. He's a super explosive kid. I'm really just excited for all of them and the whole offense in general. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just ready to put it all together, go and play somebody besides our teammates, and just go get that first win.
Yeah, we're excited for the season getting closer. We're talking Jax State quarterback Caden Creel. Caden, really appreciate you taking a few minutes with me this morning, talking some Jax State football. Looking forward to watching you this fall, but thanks for coming on this morning.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. That is Jax State quarterback Caden Creel. As, again, he kind of stepped in last year, had to take the reins, and did a great job with it. He was fun to watch, and looking forward to watching the way he improves this season. So that was Jax State quarterback Caden Creel as the Gamecocks getting ready to start off this 2026 season. Coming up, they got a Week 0 game. That'll be August 29th, Saturday afternoon at 4:30 against North Dakota State. They're in the Fargo Dome, and that'll be a nationally televised game there on the CBS Sports Network. But Jax State with that Week 0 matchup there against North Dakota State. We're going to flip over to the other side of the ball on the defensive side and talk with another Jax State player representing the Gamecocks here at Conference USA Media Day is safety Caleb Nix. He joins us now. Caleb, good morning. How are you, man?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Appreciate you taking a few minutes with us this morning to talk some Jax State football. How's the offseason been for you?
And it's been great. It's been a really good offseason, just getting to, gel with the new guys and, continue, building on the bond that we have with the returning guys and just, really forming a team. It's better this year that we have so many guys that have been here, and then all the new guys, pretty much all of them got here in, end of December, early January. So we've really had a true offseason. It's been really good.
You've been that new guy having transferred into Jax State. How does that kind of help you when you see other guys come into the program to kind of help bring them along?
Yeah, it just helps you be able to relate. It's each situation is different. Each kid's transferring in or coming in from high school. So you have different situations, you have different reasons, and they're different steps in their journey. Whether they've been in college 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, but it gives me a chance to relate. And that's a good place to be as a leader. You just want to be able to relate to the guys, and so I think that my journey is similar to a lot of the other guys on the team. We're just came to Jacksonville State looking for a true opportunity, and so I think that's it's been good to be able to relate to those guys.
Just talk about kind of last season. You had a good season last year defensively. Just talk about some things that you learned, you picked up last year that you feel like will help you heading into a new year.
Yeah, I think I had tremendous growth from game 1 to game 14. I mean, before that in my college career, I really, I'd played on special teams a good bit, but never a ton on defense. And even going back to high school days, I was, only played quarterback. So it was really my first chance to, truly be on the defensive side of the ball for a whole season for 14 games. And so I think that just, the more you see something, Coach Kelly always says that the best way to get better at playing football is to play football. So I think that, getting all those snaps under my belt and seeing so many different offenses and so many different situations, that it just helped me grow a lot as a player and especially as a defender. And so I think that, being able to carry those experiences into the offseason and then, just go through the offseason and now preparing for the season, I think it's been tremendous just for my growth as a player.
talked with Coach Kelly yesterday. He was talking about just your versatility of all you've played in your football career and how the staff really trusts you at different positions. What kind of has led to that? What makes you a versatile player?
Well, to be honest, it would go back to just my childhood. I grew up as a coach's kid, so I just grew up around the football field all the time. I didn't start playing, organized tackle football till 7th grade. So all through my elementary and, early school year grades, I was just around my dad's football team, whether that was, when he was in college or when he got into high school. So I was just out there, as a ball boy every day at practice. I was, going through special teams drills with him. I was holding. I was, punting. I was catching punts, whatever it was that, I was out there doing either before or after practice or during practice sometimes. So I think that just, being around the game your whole life and just, always having a football in my hands, and it's just allowed me to be, versatile just because that's all I've known. It's being around football, and, I just love every aspect of football, so it's helped me be able to do a lot of different things on the football field.
What's it like playing for, obviously, Coach Kelly has been a defensive coach for most of his career. Brian Williams, a great defensive mind. What's it like playing for these guys who are really good defensive coaches?
It's been awesome. Coach Kelly, with his, defensive background and being one of the best DB coaches in the country, was really one of the main reasons I picked Jax State. So that's been really neat, just being able to learn from him, learn from someone who's been around the game for so long, and so many great DBs. When you go in his office and you just look up on the walls and you see the pictures and the jerseys of the guys that he's coached that are either playing in the NFL still or have played in the NFL. And, it's some of the best names that you could find in the NFL. So that's been really neat. And then, Coach B-Dub, it's, he comes from more of a defensive line perspective. So it's been really awesome to learn from him, with just being so sound in all the run game and the run fits and all of that. So it's been awesome to kind of have a combination of both. And then my safeties coach, Coach Quincy, he's a young guy, but he's just truly just a really, really smart football coach. So it's been awesome to learn from all three of those guys. And they're all three different, but they all share the same message, and the same, core beliefs. And so it's been fun to learn from all of them.
We're talking with Jax State safety Caleb Nix. What should Jax State fans expect from this defense this season?
Well, I know, we have high expectations for ourselves. We think that we can be one of the best defenses in the conference. I think that we can, truly be one of those defenses that, people that, our opponents are watching film, and by, Tuesday, Wednesday of game prep, that they're like, man, we really don't want to play these guys. They fly around, they tackle really well, they force turnovers. So those are our big things are, be violent tacklers, and then just, have a ball-out mentality, go get the ball. That's how you win games at the end of the day. Is if you can tackle really well, you'll eliminate, explosive plays. And if you can go force takeaways, then you give your offense, more chances to go score. And with our offense, they only need so many opportunities. But the more opportunities we can give to them, the better we'll be. So I think you'll just see a defense that plays really hard, that tackles well, that can be versatile, can do a lot of different things on that side of the ball, and then, just forces takeaways.
Well, good stuff. Looking forward to seeing you and your defense on the field this season there at Jax State. Caleb, really appreciate you taking a few minutes with us, talking some Jax State football. Best of luck this season. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. That is Caleb Nix, Jax State safety. As we appreciate Caleb Nix and Caden Creel taking a few minutes with us this morning to talk some Jax State football ahead of the 2026 season. More to come. We will continue right here on the Chase Robinson Show next. Stick around right here on East Alabama's Voice for Sports, AM 1580, The Stadium.